Hi everyone, welcome to a brand new episode where we dive into real estate. I am Nicole and
I'm Luis.
And today we're going to bring you through a new and upcoming new launch called Parktown Residence. So Parktown Residence will be at Tampines North, a new and upcoming neighborhood. And this is actually how it will look like. It is quite big and huge because it is going to be an integrated development.
It's like an island itself,
Yeah, it is. So on the first few floors, there will be commercial stores, and then on the top floors, there will be your residential blocks. Okay, so it's going to be huge. And can you take a guess how many soccer fields this side area can cover?
I heard it will be the biggest integrated development in Singapore.
Okay,
so I'm gonna guess
right.
maybe 6.
6, okay. 6 is slightly a bit too small. It's actually around 7.
Oh.
So it's quite amazing. Imagine you have 7 soccer fields right next to each other. That is how big Parktown will be. So the concept for this, it's around having a park in a town. So that gives us a very luxurious, very lush and relaxing feel.
Oh, that's why it's Parktown Residence.
Yes, literally.
Wow, okay, very smart.
Okay, so Parktown Residence is actually set in a new neighborhood that's upcoming called Tampines North. So just now we said integrated development. What is integrated development? Do you know?
Integrated development consists of both commercial and residential. And
Okay.
of course, depends on the project. Maybe you include the transport element also.
Yes, so that is right. Integrated development only counts if there is the transport hub mixed into it. So it has to have an MRT and interchange within it. If not, if there's no transport, it is just considered a mixed-use development. So for Parktown, there will be 12 residential blocks here. A mega development. And so it will be on top of 2 floors of commercial and retail. So some of the amenities included in this will be things like your hawker center, community club, and as well as your retail, including the MRT and bus interchange. So this is how Tampines North is expected to look like. It's quite amazing. It will look like a little leaf interspersed with your greenery. So it's gonna be something that people will really enjoy living in.
Okay, furthermore, actually, Tampines North is still developing. The only one that is prominent actually is Standard EC, which is the first land to be launched. Apart from that, it's still quite a bare land. We are expecting a lot of developments coming up for the next few years.
So just a bit more project information. There will be an MRT, Tampines North MRT, directly connected to it on the basement. So this is how it is projected to look like in 2030, and it is just opening 2 years after the TOP date, which is estimated to be around 2028. So it will really bring you to many places elsewhere in Singapore, and you'll be super connected. Okay, so for Parktown, it is jointly developed by 3 developers. So that's super reliable. And your 3 developers are CapitaLand, UOL, and Singapore Land, and they all have really solid track record. So CapitaLand, as you all know, manage and develop a lot of residential and retail commercial projects, things like Jewel Changi Airport, Canning Hill Piers, that's also upcoming, Bedok Residences, also an integrated development. For UOL and Singland, they do a lot of projects together. So things like Mayor Blue, Wetton House. So you know that there's really some kind of relationship in this. And Singapore Land especially has done other retail projects as well, like Marina Square and West Mall. So that is something really exciting. You know that the Parktown is going to be in good hands.
Also, one thing is to emphasize is actually the one managing the mall might be CapitaLand. CapitaLand, as you know, that actually is very, very experienced in the malls. So you are expecting a very, very good tenant mix for the Parktown Residences as well.
So Parktown location is actually right smack in the middle of Tampines North. As you can see, shaped like a leaf, as I said earlier. And it is right smack in the middle of many amenities like your schools, from primary all the way to tertiary, even your business parks, your lifestyle and dining options. You have hawker centers, you have markets. And there's also recreation and parks all around you. And also super close to Tampines Regional Centre where you can find almost everything there. So it is really quite well stocked in terms of the neighbourhood. Okay, but just to dive in a little bit deeper on the schools, because we know this is really important to a lot of new families. In terms of the schools that are within 1 km on one map, we have found 3. So you have your Angsana Primary School, you have your Elias Park Primary School, and your Poi Ching School. Then you also have schools between 1 to 2 km. Some of them are really good schools as well. So you, in terms of educational opportunities, sending your kids to nice school, you don't fall short of any here. Okay, so of course, one of the highly sought after school is Poi Ching School. But one thing to note is that some of the blocks of Parktown, because it's super big, might not fall within 1 km of Poi Ching. So we need to note that when choosing our unit. Okay, so because Parktown is a huge project, there are several amenities. I think it's just crazy. You have things like swimming pools, KTV rooms meaning plural, many. You have barbecue pits also, function rooms, and you have a gym, which is nice, but also not just one, but you have 2 gyms.
Yeah, I think integrated development, they make it like in a sense whereby like, you don't really need to leave your house for everything.
And when you put it all of them together, you can see the scale of it. It's just really kind of like a mini island here. So that's pretty amazing. So with all of this said, why might this project appeal to some home buyers or investors? I have noted down 3 reasons. And I think we'll just bring you through very quickly what these are. So number 1 is Parktown's superior convenience in Tampines North. It has very close proximity to different kinds of shops, and that's around 100 to 120 shops. Okay, so
impressive.
It's huge as well.
Yeah.
And you also have transport right underneath you. It's also easy to travel out with the highways like KPE and TPE on the side. So if you want to go elsewhere outside of Tampines, also fine. You just take a short drive right down to maybe Orchard or like somewhere further away. So in terms of the mixed-use transport hubs in Singapore, I think there are around like 9. In terms of Parktown, it's situated right here, and it is actually the largest integrated development in Singapore by land area and GFA. So when compared to developments like Sengkang Grand, which is just newly opened, even your Bedok residences in the east as well, is actually much bigger. Okay, so actually from an urban planning point of view, this is actually quite interesting because you see 2 things. First, you see a mixing of public and private space horizontally, okay? So in terms of the mall's private space, it's integrated with the Green Boulevard. There's a public space that connects you to the park as well. So that means that it's just really accessible for you to go to these type of places for relaxation. And you see this in newer malls like your Punggol Waterway Park. Second, there's also a mixing of public and private space vertically. So you see here, right, like your commercial and retail is on the bottom, whereas your residential is still like a little oasis right on the top. There is no sacrifice of privacy because for the residential, you have your own space. And usually when you buy into a private condominium, you're either looking for convenience or exclusivity or both. And most of the time it's either or. Like for example, if you buy a really secluded condominium, it's quiet, but at the same time, it also means that you're away from most of the activities. But Parktown is interesting because the developers have been quite intentional with the design in terms of the access points in the lobby and the basement. It makes sure that there is no trade-off between convenience and exclusivity. Yeah. So even though there's bound to be traffic given the development significance, there is still some kind of safeguarding of like quietness and peace in the residence upstairs. So we talk a lot about Parktown, right? What about comparing it to its neighbours in Tampines? Do you know of any in the market right now?
Of course, the more popular one will be Treasure. Yeah, Treasure at Tampines.
Yes, so we were just looking at other condos in the market and we realised that Parktown is the development closest to transport in Tampines right now. You see Tapestry, for example, nearest MRT, Tampines West is 1.37, really far. And then Treasure at Tampines is around 700 meters. So still walkable, but a little bit of a walk.
Distance lah.
Yeah, a little bit of a distance. Then we also see Tampines Trillion. This is 500 meters. Not too bad, okay. And then Eden as well is around 500 meters away from Tampines East MRT. But the thing about Parktown is that it is 0 meters away from MRT. It's just right downstairs. You go press the lift and then you'll reach kind of with a little bit of a short walk.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's just really close. So it's really, in terms of convenience, superior. So the second reason why Parktown may seem appealing to many people is because of its transformation benefits. Because Parktown is close to the mature estate of Tampines Regional Centre, so you can find your favourites such as our Tampines Hub, your Tampines MRT, and the 3 malls, Century Square, Tampines Mall, and Tampines One. Then there are also new amenities to look forward to. You have the Boulevard Park in Tampines North that's upcoming, the polyclinic, community facilities, and supermarkets as well that are expected to come in. So these will all come in alongside the 21,000 new homes here. And out of these 21,000 new homes, 4,000 will be private residential units.
Wow.
Yes, so all of you guys will form the new neighbourhood of Tampines North. So this transformation is actually not just limited to Tampines. It's also happening in surrounding areas. So you can see your Paya Lebar Air Base, your Bayshore, which will be a new residential precinct, Changi East, which will include your aviation logistics hub, and Punggol Digital District, which includes your IT and digital services. All of these will start to see a lot of growth in the area starting from 2030. So this will also add to the demand for Tampines North and Parktown in turn. But do note that the transformation will take some time. So it's important to have a long-term view for this. So all of this will happen in the future, probably a few years after you get your keys for Parktown. Now we move on to our third reason why Parktown is attractive. Louis, actually one question. Do you have a lot of friends who stay in Tampines?
Well, actually I do. Apart from friends, I also have some clients who actually stay in Tampines. And in East in particular, I think there's a trend whereby like when they sell their unit in the East, right, or Tampines, right, then they always buy back the very, very, very near one, like Tampines or Bedok. They kind of never really leave the East, from my opinion. Yeah.
Actually, that's very interesting because then this actually shows in the demand for rental and new homes in Tampines. So Tampines is actually a very popular neighbourhood. It has its own allure for Easties especially. And so many generations still continue to live there since the regional centre was developed. So this actually gives Parktown an advantage in terms of rental and exit strategy. So what does exit strategy mean? So it just means that upon TOP, there are a few things that you can do. You can live in it, you can rent it out, you can sell it. Your exit strategy refers to how you want to sell your unit in the open market or how you want to use it to gain some profit. So new launches in Tampines generally do quite well in terms of rental demand and resale demand. And this includes Treasure. So we look at Treasure as one example, okay? So Treasure TOP in 2023 and it's not near MRT actually, closest is 765 meters walk away. A bit further compared to Parktown lah. But when we're looking at its rental volume and rental price, it is actually very healthy across all bedroom types. So you see one bedroom, right? It's transacted around 2,760 and there are many transactions in December. And also in the 2-bedroom type, there's also the similar trend. Then for the 3 and 4 and 5 bedroom, also very similar as you can tell. So for bigger units itself, the rental is also quite strong.
For bigger units like 4-bedder and 5-bedder, it's harder to rent out because usually people are there for own stay. For Tampines to show this kind of rental yield or rental volume, right, I think it's quite formidable because usually 5-bedders will take very long time to rent. I also think that it's also because of the mature estate. So mature estate traditionally will have bigger families, so that's why they have the capacity to rent like bigger units like 4-bedder and 5-bedder.
So overall, Treasure at Tampines actually TOP since 1 year
2023.
plus. So it's about 1 year. And it's showing really strong profitable transactions here. Now, besides being profitable because it is in Tampines, another USP of Parktown is because it is integrated. So we also look at how other integrated hubs have performed as well. So we use one example. This is Sengkang Grand. Comparing it to its neighbours, Jewel, Esperina and the Quartz, you see that its average rent is actually higher compared to the rest, at least 12.2%. So the margin actually is quite big. And yeah, we do see also similarly this happening to your North Park residences. Comparing it to Symphony Suites, the Wisteria and 9 residences, you see the difference is at least 15% and at most 18%. So even integrated development does much better compared to a mixed-use development with no transport. But we also need to be wary that Tampines North will have a lot of new residential projects coming on. Can be here, or here, we're not sure yet. But what we do know is that Parktown is actually the first mover for Tampines North. So that's give it a very big advantage in terms of the exit strategy and also in terms of the entry price. So when Parktown TOP, there will be a fair share of HDB owners around that might be interested to upgrade to a private property. So these are just a few HDB projects that might be MOPing by then. Okay, so just nice. And this means that for the executive condominiums that are either launched already or launching, like Orwell and Tenet, actually Parktown has the advantage because these have longer minimum occupation period.
In case you don't know, for privatized condo and EC runs a different timeline. So for Parktown residences, a fully privatized condo, right, actually you take 3 years from exercise date to offload or to sell. But whereas for EC, right, you need to fulfill the MOP period. Meaning to say, for example, Tenet, which has launched about 3 years ago, first thing they need to wait for the construction, which is about 4 years. Afterwards, they have to have a minimum stay of 5 years MOP, a bit similar like HDB like this. So their total time horizon they are looking at is about 9 years. But however, if you are talking about just Parktown itself, maybe the 4 years construction, actually you are eligible to sell already because it starts from the exercise date.
So that's just all for my 3 reasons. Let's go into more detail now into the site and what the project has to offer. So this is the site map of Parktown Residences. It is divided into Park West and Park East and also has several amenities scattered around. And if you just look at the unit mix, it is quite spread out. There are slightly more 1 and 2 bedders, whereas we have 45% for 3 bedroom all the way to 5 bedroom. So I think what's interesting for Parktown is that for those with balcony, some of them go for around 2.5 meters, and that's bigger than what's out there in the general market. Those that are out there actually are around 1.9 to 2. So this is also something good in terms of layout. Now the views, you get a variety of both. You get internal facing, so you can be facing some of the pools or even the gym or function rooms, or you can also be facing outwards into the nearby HDBs or condos as well. But actually here for Parktown, the views don't play a huge factor in investment potential because due to the height restrictions, a lot of the surrounding projects are also of similar height. So most of the residential blocks here for Parktown, they are like 7 to 13 stories, and you don't need to clear Pacific level to get a superior view like Ori or Alta. So also the neighboring projects are around that height too. You can tell Green Glade 16 floors, Green View 15 floors, Green Court 16 floors. So you don't need a certain floor to achieve that good view, and it's really up to preference which view you like. So the blocks are also quite spread out, and that is good because then that means you get to enjoy views of what is around you. And if you were to compare it between Parktown and the HDBs next to it, it's also around 72 meters, so you do have a good setback for you to enjoy your view.
Actually, for the unit selection, you should be more focus more on the inner facing, because most of the facings have a pool view, but there are different degree and different elevation of the unit that provide you with a better pool view. So if you need help for the unit selection, right, you do reach out to us, because I think it will be a very, very tough one. I think every unit type they have like 4 or 5 different kind of layouts, which we will zoom in further later lah.
Now let's dive deeper into each unit type. For Parktown, actually, there's lots of variety in terms of layout and facing, with many other similar options. As you will see now, a lot of these layouts are very similar to each other. It's just give and take a few differences in terms of sizing for various rooms. So for the 1 bedroom plus study, it is a very standard layout. There's open kitchen for all. The differences for here is that the study for this one kind of has its own space, whereas the study for the rest is just right in the corner of the unit. And also for this one, there's no foyer, it just opens directly into the kitchen.
Okay, so the manipulation of the layouts are actually on the foyer and also the study. They satisfy different kind of needs.
But one thing to note that's very important is that there's no balcony for this. There will only be balcony for 2 bedrooms and above.
So I think once you hear there's no balcony for the 1 plus study, right, you might be taken aback. How come condo don't have balcony? This is not the first time that it happened. If you are in the property scene, you know that 3 years ago, Tenant also launched some units without balcony. And those are actually, some of it are 3-beders. So you can actually see in both ways. First thing is, if you have a 1 plus study unit, how often do you actually use the balcony? And how will the tenant treasure the balcony? Does that really matter to them a lot? Because usually 1-bedder is for investment, for rental. Furthermore, without a balcony, it doesn't really affect the square feet so much, meaning to say that you have a lot more indoor usable space. So that's something that you can look at to give you another perspective. So doesn't mean that there's no balcony means no good lah. Yeah.
Okay, with that, we move on to our 2-bedroom. So also very similar. The 2-bedroom has dumbbell layout for all, but the main difference is just in the foyers and the length of the kitchen. So this one has a bit of a foyer, tiny one, and then this one has a slightly longer kitchen. So see which one you want to give and take. I think what's interesting is for this one, there's no 2 bedrooms in the blocks that are in the corner right here. So most of them are just found in Park West and a bit of Park North, if you call it. So now we have our 2-bedroom premium, and for this one we have 5 types. So for the first 4 of them, they're all dumbbell layout, and the last one is L shape here. So there's a bit of some of corridor space, and your kitchen is right on the right, and then your dining right after on the left. If you were to compare BP1 and BP2, they're very similar to each other. If you were to compare BP3 and BP4, they're also similar, but in terms of the bath and bedroom, where they start is a bit different. So for BP4, if you come right in, you have your bath on your left immediately, whereas this one, you have your kitchen on your left and your master bath is just right after. So it really depending what you prefer in terms of feel and accessibility. So for this 2-bedroom premium, all of the kitchens are open, but you can choose to enclose them, okay? So next we have our 2-bedroom premium plus study, and this is actually the SHOWFLAT unit for BPS1. If you were to compare both of them together, there is just a bit of difference in terms of where the balcony and living space starts. So it does make it seem that BPS1 has a slightly larger balcony. But this one really depends on the final specifications from the developer, so we'll need to wait for that as well.
Actually, if you realize, right, your 2-bedroom premium and be study or no study, the entrance is right beside the kitchen. So meaning to say, right, you don't have a foyer area. So there are 2 ways to look at this. First way actually is a very efficient layout. There's no wasted space because sometimes foyer, you don't really do much about it. Then secondly actually is quite cramped. When you come in, right, you straight away is the kitchen. Because usually a 2-bedder layout, right, comes in with a foyer, then go into the kitchen. So this is something that you take note when you want to consider this. Or let's say if you are just buying just for rental, right, you might want to take a look at our layout as well.
Okay, so now we go into something bigger. We have the 3-bedroom. And so this one actually has 5 types, okay? The first type is a bit more of like a dumbbell shape. So if you prefer something a bit more open to all your bedrooms, you can consider C1. But for C2 all the way up to C5, it is an L-shaped traditional layout, which offers a bit more privacy. So as you can see here, there's the foyer, dining space, and then it leads right into your bedrooms. But the difference from most of these is that, firstly, the entrance, it opens into different spaces. So for example, C1 opens right into your kitchen, whereas for C3, there is a bit of a corridor. And also the size of the foyer differs a little bit. This one, C5, is a little bit longer compared to the rest.
Do take note that these 3 bedrooms are considered compact types. Why I say compact types is firstly because of the size. It's 900 plus square feet. Secondly, compact size usually doesn't give you a store or a yard. So thing to take note that actually your kitchen area will be more simplified compared to the premium that we're gonna show you later.
Now then we have the 3-bedroom premium, which has a whopping 8 unit types. It's crazy, but actually when you compare, they all look a little similar to each other. The main differences that you can see is just in the size of the foyer and the balcony as well. So here. So for CP1 all the way to CP6, they're all the same size at 1066 square feet. But then CP7 and CP8, the last 2 unit types, are a little bit different. So CP7 has just 10 square feet larger, which could have been added into the larger balcony, and whereas it was different for CP8. So that's why it has a smaller balcony.
Yeah, so for generally for 3-bedder premium, right, the differences are actually in the foyer area or the balcony area. So what comes into play when you are selecting a unit, when you ballot or you purchase, right, actually comes down to the facing.
So what's very similar to the 3-bedroom premium is the 3-bedroom premium plus study. CPS2 is actually the SHOWFLAT unit. And for this one, also very traditional L-shaped layout. All of the bedrooms are situated on one side, and the other side would be your baths and master baths. For CP1, S1 and CP all the way to CPS3, they're all 1173 square feet. While comparing to CPS4 and CPS5, these two are actually slightly larger, and we think it could be because of the longer foyer over here.
Okay, we'll say very similar. For the 3 bedrooms, inclusive of every type, right, it's the facing that comes in play. It's not the 10 square feet that you might lose out or gain lah.
Okay, now we have arrived at our 4-bedroom, and this is actually a bit more simpler. We have only 1 to 2 stacks for each bedroom type, so hopefully that simplifies your decision making. What is interesting actually comparing to 4 of these unit types is that D4, the largest, actually has a walk-in wardrobe right over here. So if you like to place some of your clothes right next to your master bath, create that kind of like connected space, you can do that here at D4. Now going one step higher to your 4-bedroom premium, but also offering a little bit of an upgrade, we have Type D P1 and Type D P2, which is also your SHOWFLAT unit. So this is a bit more interesting compared to the 4-bedroom. Both offer room for a junior master and also a third bathroom. Yeah, so that gives you more space to accommodate a bigger family as well. And so now we have the king of all kings, our 5-bedroom lastly. This one has a walk-in wardrobe, which is good. But I think one thing that probably compared to other projects in the market, it does not have a private lift.
Actually, that's very disappointing because for an integrated project, right, if 5-bedder has a private lift, right, that would be very, very good. But however, apart from the private lift, actually 5-bedroom in Tampines is actually the supply quite low. We have analysis on Treasure at Tampines. The buyer's board Treasure 5-bedder earn quite a bit, but we can take it offline to show you further about this.
Okay. And lastly, one thing that's interesting is that there are 2 stacks for a 5-bedroom. Both look into the internal facing, the swimming pool. But then in terms of, let's say, looking outside, you have no opportunity to do so.
The setback for the swimming pool between blocks actually is quite wide. So actually we are looking at a pretty nice horizontal pool view lah. Yeah.
Now that we have been through Parktown, actually because we have also just done a video for Alta, what is your comparison?
For Alta and Parktown, okay, one thing is that they are going to launch together. So if we were to looking to purchase one of these, right, you must visit both as an investor. But if let's say you have preference, like if you are Eastie and then you are biased towards the East, then yeah, of course you'll be Parktown. To be more rational, right, I feel for my personal take, Alta might be a safer one because you are buying into the present. Clementi being a very mature estate, you have seen your neighbours, Clavon and Clementi, actually yielding quite good profits. Yeah, whereas Parktown is you are buying into the future. So that one can be quite exciting as well. But do take note that actually Parktown residences or integrated development, they usually will charge a premium because the unparalleled convenience that you get lah. So for Nicole, what do you think? Which one are you leaning towards to?
I personally like Parktown because I'm an Eastie
because
and
Eastie.
East side, best side. Yeah.
Okay, so for people out there, try to be more rational. Don't because of your Eastie you buy East. So if let's say you cannot really figure out, feel free to call us. We can help you to figure out which one is better for your situation.
Yeah. So things to take note of if you're really interested in knowing more about Parktown. Okay, timeline, we have the preview on 7th February and this is the same as Alta's. For the check cut-off, you have about 10 days to view the project and also learn more about it. So do come down to the SHOWFLAT and we will bring you around. On 22nd Feb, you have the booking day. Okay, so that's where you can get to choose your units if you're successful in your balloting. Now, our indicative price for this, because prices are not out yet, we have just compared it against other new launches that are quite comparable. We think it will be around 2,400 to 2,700 per square foot.
But Alta, we are quoting, if you have watched our previous video, actually we are quoting about 2003 to 2006. Just a bit lower because Parktown Residences is integrated. So this is our indicative price. Developer starting price is still not announced yet. So once announced, we can let you know.
Also, Parktown is a harmonized project. Nowadays, all the new launches are harmonized. So that means all of your gross floor area that you're paying for is all usable space. So you don't pay for your aircon ledge or your vertical space. So that means clearer pricing and also better value. Okay, so in terms of the show units, we have 3 layouts available. Even if your unit is not available here, please do come down because some of the rooms will have similar sizing and we'll help advise you on that. If you're also interested in other projects in the area of Tampines, also check out Orel Executive Condominium, which is right next to the sold-out Tenet that launched about 1 to 2 years ago.
But however, for that, we haven't have the launch date yet, but it will be pretty soon. Another one to look forward after this will be Lentor Central Residences, which will be launching on 22nd February, which is on the booking day of Alta and Parktown. So it's a very, very exciting start to the new year for projects, back-to-back projects. What you need to do is not to be overwhelmed, to be more informed in your decision.
Yes, so that's all that we have for Parktown today. If you are interested in any other projects, let us know. We'll be happy to help. See you soon and thank you for watching.
Bye.